Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today we're checking out a 2025 Subaru WRX in the new TS trim level. Now, what's new for this year, they had the TR last year, now it's the TS. So they go in alphabetical order. I'm not sure what's going on here. This one has the electronically controlled adaptive dampers. So the suspension system is electronically controlled, feels really good. And it's one of those things where you have to experience it to understand how well it works. Now it has a high performance Brembo braking system and it has gold colored calipers. It's kind of cool. 6-piston front calipers and dual pistons in the back. Now it has Recaro seats, performance seats. They have the synthetic suede. In this particular case is the blue interior color. It looks really nice. Exterior accents, it has a little bit of accents on the outside. Nothing really standing out. 19-inch satin gray finish wheels with Bridgestone tires. And they look really good, I think. I mean, depends on if you like the dark wheels or not. And also, they're not the easiest to clean when you have the satin finish on wheels with brake dust and stuff like that. You have a little bit of attention there, but as far as just looks, some people really like this style. Now, it has a 12-inch, a 12.3-inch LCD cluster display, which is, I've never seen this before in a Subaru. It is really cool. It's slightly customizable. It has a lot of information, just really well done. Now it has, of course, the EyeSight driver assist technology. You have one of the options is the Galaxy Purple Pearl exterior colors. This one is obviously not. This is in the white, but I would like to see in person the Galaxy Purple. That sounds like a cool color. Now the TS is only available in a 6-speed manual transmission. And one of the benefits of a manual transmission in general is it just feels like a connection, an extension to your body. You feel connected with the vehicle. And this vehicle is so satisfying to drive because of the power delivery, the way the shifting of the gears, the power to weight ratio just feels so satisfying. It feels like you're a light vehicle with a lot of power, and you just have that full control with the manual transmission. Just most satisfying manual transmissions I've driven. And yeah, it just feels so good. A lot of vehicles, they have a lot of power, but then it has this very heavy weight to it, and it takes a lot of aggressive torque and everything to get it to move. This one is light and nimble, and you're able to just fly through the gears, and it's just so satisfying. So this one is in the crystal white pearl exterior color, and it looks pretty cool with all the black accents. So most of the accents are a matte black. You can see here in the front, the grille is a gloss black with the WRX standing out in red. And then it has the matte black here at the bottom, reflector, fog lights, projector headlights. And I have a night video on the TR from last year, and it basically has the same headlight system. So if you want to check that out, you have the air intake there on the hood. These matte black wheels look pretty cool, but they're a little bit of a pain to keep clean. And it has the Brembo braking system with cross-drilled rotors. Looking pretty cool. And they paint the Brembo's gold. It's kind of interesting. And you can see the cross-drill there, ventilated disc rotors. Even here in the back, they're ventilated and cross-drilled. So yeah, some cladding here, kind of sporty looking. Body colored handles, pillars are a matte black, and then the gloss black side mirrors. Now it has the proximity key. You probably have seen this key before. They've used it for a while. It has a lock. This is the unlock, that blue oval. Ability to release the trunk as well. And it's the full proximity system. So there's the little lock button there. Put your hand behind the handle to unlock it. It's pretty basic. But check out this interior. Has the blue accents with the black, and then has the simulated carbon fiber right here. Then you have the blue seats, the Recaro seats with the blue there on the sides. It has the stitching there. TS Recaro seats. And these are like a simulated suede texture there in the center. Pretty cool looking floor mats. They have like a tire tread on them. And they're soft as well. Kind of has like a thick pile on them. And you have more of that suede here on the dash with the French stitching, double stitched. Yeah, I really like that blue color. It looks cool, especially in sports cars. You can actually justify this vehicle as just a daily driver, even a family vehicle, because look, you have some significant back seat space here. The back door swings open, easy to get in and out. It has the blue, the suede, and the carbon fiber accents as well. So yeah, substantial legroom back here. Basically a bench seat. It does have car seat attachments, cup holders, armrest, USB ports, USB A and C. There's a big hump in the middle, so you're probably not going to have a center passenger. But you can put a car seat in the middle as well as the ends. There's pockets on the back of both front seats. Yeah, you need to use premium fuel. I mean, it's any boosted engine, you really want to use premium fuel. And it has, I think it's a 16-gallon tank, so it has a lot of range. There's a gloss back little shark fin antenna up there. Third brake light is at the bottom of the glass. Little tiny spoiler back here. It's like a deck lid spoiler. I remember the STIs would have these huge spoilers here in the back. This one's not as attention-getting. We'll just use that word. Has the backup camera slightly offset once again. Not sure what the deal is with that. So yeah, it's under there, kind of tacked on. Check out that quad exhaust tips. Looking pretty cool. Very usable trunk space here. And it's mostly carpeted. As you can see, the carpeted here on the sides. But it does have some exposed metal and stuff under here. And the seats, of course, fold down to add to your cargo space. It's actually a 60-40 split, so you can add to cargo space while still maintaining passenger space, like if you have a car seat in place or whatever. Now, since it has the Recaro braking system, it doesn't have a spare tire, because you'd have to have a huge, full-size spare tire in here. And there actually might be enough room if you take all this the styrofoam out, but this particular vehicle doesn't have it. There's a jack with tools though, and a tire inflator kit. But yeah, a lot of this is taken up by this huge chunky styrofoam piece. Let's see if I can lift it up here. So yeah, you could probably get one and put it in here. I mean, it has a little spot to put it, but yeah, because there's a lot of space. It's just kind of wasted by this big foam piece. Look at that. And start it up. I like this start button. It has STI on it. This is engine start stop. The floorboard in front of the driver's seat, the floor mat snaps in place or hooks in place there, keeping it straight for you. I like these sporty looking pedals. Has that raised rubber aluminum pedal with the footrest as well. All right, let's take a look under the hood. You can see the airflow coming from the top of the hood there is going right directly into the intercooler. So this is designed to cool the air basically. As it gets through the turbocharger, it heats up a little bit. So this cools it back down before it actually gets into the engine. And so yeah, I've been driving Subarus for a long time, you know, off and on. My very first Subaru was in the very early 80s, and it actually had the spare tire on top of the engine. So there's a lot of room here. Since the engine is low down with that boxer engine, it's actually quite lower than what you think, because we have a lot of stuff on top now. So the actual cylinder heads are on the ends, and it is an all-wheel drive vehicle, but the engine is oriented this way. So just like a V8 or something like that, where the rear wheels could be the drive wheels. You know what I'm saying? Like it's oriented unlike most front-wheel drive vehicles. And look at that, you can get to the oil filter very easily. Same thing with the battery. So this plastic thing is the intake. So the intake's on top, the exhaust is straight out the bottom. So the cylinder headers are here, intake in the top, exhaust in the bottom. So that way all the heat flows underneath the vehicle as you're driving. So there's very little heat buildup under the hood, or a lot less than if you had the exhaust manifolds inside the engine compartment. They're all underneath the engine compartment, underneath the vehicle. So yeah, the center of gravity is lower. There's a lot of benefits to a boxer engine, basically. Having the cylinder heads separated, one on the other, also helps out with heat dissipation because you don't have that concentration of heat all in one cylinder head, so it's splitting them in two. So yeah, it's a great design. Now, having the turbocharger added to this system, they just did a great job with this one. I mean, it just feels so good. So this is a 4-cylinder, of course, the Boxer style, Subaru Boxer engine with a lower center of gravity, full aluminum engine with the cylinders on each side. Now it's 271 horsepower at 5,600 RPMs and 258 pound-feet of torque between 2,000 and 5,200 RPMs. So that broad torque range really helps with the satisfying gear changes and, you know, power delivery. Some vehicles, like the max torques is like at this really high RPM, and it's just, you know, you have to really rev it to get that feeling of power. This one, even at 2,000 RPMs, you still have between 2,000 and 5,200. You have that full 258 pound-feet of torque. Excellent. Now it does have the blind spot detection system, and the indicator is there on the inside of the side mirror. So instead of being on the glass itself, it's right there. And basically the inside of the driver's door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons here. One touch up and down on all the windows, non-laminated glass. There's a power seat for the driver. So yeah, really cool looking seats. To the left of the steering column, there's the ability to open up the trunk. You can turn off the traction control. Basically, if you want to spin tires, you can turn it off here, and then you can have the dimmer switch for the interior gauges. And then you have a tilt and telescoping steering column. Now you notice here these blank buttons right here. These are typically used for other trims or other markets. So you could use these, like say if you wanted to add an accessory light or something like that, you can use these spaces as well. So in the driver's seat, there's a lot of room. So I put the seat all the way back and all the way down. I'm 6 feet tall to give you an idea of the potential legroom here. And it's actually too far back for me to drive. I won't be able to push the clutch in all the way, that kind of stuff. So for a smaller vehicle, this has a lot of legroom. Now it diminishes the amount of room I have behind me, but yeah, if you're over 6 feet tall, you should really have no problem driving this vehicle. I'm kind of surprised at how much room we have here. And check out the steering wheel. So it has the blue stitching there on the inside. It feels really good. It has a good texture without being not overly grippy or anything. Has some bolsters here, flat bottom, simulated carbon fiber there, blacked out WRX. You have the cruise control settings here on the right side, and it has the lane keep assist system. It actually works pretty good on this vehicle. And then you have the drive modes here. You also have this button here you can customize. You can press that button and you have the individual, you have the drive mode, this individual, right? So instead of having to cycle through everything, you can just quickly press that button and pulls up the individual drive mode there. Of course, you have the volume for the radio, change through the tracks, change your audio source, voice recognition, answer and hang up your phone. You have these buttons down here to change through the information on the screen. I'll show you that in a second. Windshield wiper controls are here, turn signals here, then you have the headlight switch, of course, with the fog lights controlled here. So yeah, this new screen that they have looks really good. And so right now it has like a map in the background. We have the RPMs here. Right now it's showing the boost pressure. Here on the right side is the digital speedometer and the status of the lane keep assist system, adaptive cruise control type stuff. Fuel gauge, engine coolant temperature, and then you have the odometer, trip, and all that stuff at the bottom. Outside temperature, digital clock, you know, it's fairly well done, has a lot of information. But if we use these buttons here, kind of cycle through, you can see you can change what's on the side here. So you have your trip, distance to empty, tire pressure, where you're at basically on the map. It'll show the name of the road, and then whatever your radio is doing, Then you can go back to the boost pressure here. We can change the view here using the center button here. So if we don't want the map there, we can have this view. Just press and hold it. You have the more traditional view here. Press and hold it. Goes back to the map view. So I don't really care for the map view. I actually, for this type of vehicle, I think this looks pretty good. You know, having those, especially if a manual transmission, you want to keep an eye on your RPMs. Which this one's so intuitive. I mean, you can just like play it by ear, or you can feel the engine. Now look at that speedometer, goes up to 180. Kind of neat. But yeah, different views there. I like this this new gauge cluster screen they've got going on here. It's nice. Now this is basically, there's the trip button there to reset the trip, and then we saw the start button, but it's so cool. Just want to show it off again. I like the way it's red. Okay, so over here is the touchscreen, and it's basically the same as pretty much all the Subaru touchscreens in recent years. It does have heated seats. It's a 3-stage heated seat. You have the tiles there with different information. You can view the map. We have the map here or on the screen in front of you. You have this little marquee type thing going on. So let me get back to that. All right, continue on. There, that's what I'm looking for. Accelerator pedal percentage. So even though I'm not moving, it shows the percentage of the accelerator pedal. Fuel consumption and the angle. So as you're driving up and down hill, it'll show you that percentage. And then there's the weather. So yeah, and so the good thing about that angle right there, let's say you're on a like a slippery surface or something like that. If you're increasing your angle, let's say you're having issues with traction, and then the angle is getting more steep, that kind of thing, then you want to adjust your speed or do something. You know, it's good to have an actual exact number on the angle sometimes for off-roading. This particular vehicle is not really an off-road vehicle, but it is all-wheel drive, so might be situations in which you might need to you know, keep an eye on the angle there. All right, so there, just go back home. You have the radio, you have media. So the radio, let me show you what that looks like. Pull that down. Has satellite radio and all that stuff, AM, FM. And of course you can play off of your Bluetooth device, that kind of stuff. Go in the apps, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, Travel Link, and My Subaru are all available. You have information about your vehicle. These are the different settings here that you can turn on or off. You have your phone settings here, which is kind of like a separate deal. And then you have individual user settings here, your profile. Climate control, you can just press that button, pops it up here, which you can turn on or off. There's also fan speed there at the bottom. So you have some consistent buttons there that don't go away. You actually have physical buttons here on the side for the temperature, front and rear defrosters, volume for the radio, 4-way flashers, that kind of stuff. 12-volt power supply, USB-A, USB-C, and auxiliary input. And there's a little spot to put some stuff here, and it's kind of rubberized here. But I put my cell phone, it doesn't fit this way or that way. So, I mean, it kind of does, but this way, but it kind of overhangs a little bit. So I guess you can, probably my phone's bigger than the average phone. That's probably what it is. So, it's, you know, this would probably be a good space for a phone for most people. Okay, so here's the shifter. All right, so there's first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. To go to reverse, you just pull up on this, all the way over, down. And when we put it in reverse, the backup, of course, the backup camera is going to pop up here with the active guidelines as well. It's not really the best quality camera, kind of low resolution, kind of blurry looking. It's down there next to the tag. We see some of the vehicle, a little bit too much of the vehicle actually. But, you know, it's okay. I mean, for 2025 model vehicle, it's pretty not good. But anyways, that's what they give you. Handbrake, excellent. An actual real handbrake instead of an electronic parking brake or something that you don't have control over. That's another thing about this vehicle. You have more direct control with the manual transmission. the actual handbrake, and once you have control of that, it engages the rear wheels. The reason why I stipulate that, there was an actual, there was a Subaru in, it was like an 82, I think it was, and the handbrake, back then in that particular time period, the handbrake would be for Subarus anyway, the drive wheels, and that particular vehicle was a front wheel drive Subaru. It wasn't all wheel drive, it was a front wheel drive Subaru, so the handbrake would only engage the front wheels. So there's cup holders here. This comes out, you notice one is deeper than the other, one side is deeper than the other. But yeah, you can use this for other things besides cups by taking that out, or if you have like a mug handle or something, you can utilize that. Little tiny armrest here, not very soft, just like soft for like 3 millimeters, and then it's hard as a rock. but yeah, it doesn't extend this way or anything, but it does lift up. There's a little compartment there with a 12-volt power supply and a little place for wires to go in and out of the compartment here and here. And it has a little felt lining. I mean, I probably would take that out and put it like a lighter color one, just so you can see in there a little bit better. Has a manual day and night mode for the rearview mirror. Then you have some tap lights here and here, nothing special. Roadside assistance buttons here. You can have the interior lights turn on with the door or not. The visors are like a vinyl material. Headliner is a cloth, and then it has the mirror with the light. So this visor does not extend out, so it doesn't move at all, and there's no extension or whatever. So literally, there's like this huge space right here for the sun to get in my eyes, and that's where the sun is, always right here or right here. It's like it works for the most part, but if extended out, it'll be a little bit better, or have some kind of extension or something. Looking at the visibility, not really a big deal. Pillars aren't overly wide, and even though the backup camera isn't all that great, you do have over-the-shoulder visibility really good. Not bad at all. And these front pillars are relatively narrow too, so not really an issue with visibility. Especially this is a wide open space right here. So yeah, and it has a blind spot detection system, rear cross traffic alert, and backup camera. So it has some technology with helping you drive the vehicle as well, be safe. So it's quick. You're able to rapidly just fly through the gears and basically arrive at the speed limit just right when you're having fun. So yeah, it's a quick, satisfying vehicle to drive. And yeah, you really can feel that power delivery. And the clutch is just awesome. The shifter itself feels good, very solid, but not overly, rigid. Has a little bit of a, it's just like perfect. Just slides right into gear, and it doesn't have any issues with that. And the manual brake here, you can pull up on it and have control over that. And it has that 6th gear, just for that extra low RPMs, and it doesn't really go that low. The RPMs at, I'm going 57. Let's go ahead and turn the cruise control on. So yeah, it's still over 2,000 RPMs even in 6th gear. So it needs a little bit of, I guess, to keep it in the torque range. over 2,000, which is in that torque range. So yeah, no wonder why it feels so good. I mean, that torque range is very broad, and that makes a big difference. I mean, really, that lane keep assist system is on this vehicle works well. Like, some vehicles have issues with fighting you and stuff. This one holds the lane nicely without being too annoying. It just feels good. And you can change through the gears. When you have the cruise control on, you can upshift or downshift, and it'll just resume the same speed that you had. So you don't have to like restart the cruise control every time you change gears. Yeah, like I said, by the time you get through the couple gears and start having fun, you reach the speed limit. But just kind of cruising on the highway. There's lots of room. The seats are a little bit too small for me, but other than that, I mean, it's fine. I think, you know, like an average sized person would fit fine in these seats. They kind of, in the Recaro fashion, they're bolstered, and they kind of keep you in place. Now, these aren't as bad. Some of the ones, like in the Mustangs, the Recaro seats, it just like kills my back. Like, it's squeezing my rib cage the whole time. These are actually a little bit more relaxed, and they feel fine. I mean, they're just a little bit more confined here in the bottom, but yeah, I'm able to sit in them and not be in pain, you know. So they're okay. It's just not, you know, you can just tell they're just a little bit too small for me. Yeah, it sticks to the ground. Yeah, like I would go a little bit overboard there trying to get it to spin a tire, but the acceleration and the all-wheel drive system and probably the traction control, which it didn't give any indicator, just makes it feel like it just stuck to the ground. There's no, it just accelerates and doesn't really spin, which is what you want. You want that full traction. But yeah, wasn't spinning.